Good morning, everyone. It is Thursday, January 22nd. Welcome to the Inside Edge. This past weekend, United Democracy Project, which is the political spending arm of the American Israel Public Affairs Committee, got involved in the special election for the 11th Congressional District in a really huge way. They very suddenly started spending massive amounts of money attacking Tom Malinowski, one of the leading candidates for the seat. So far, they've filed spending more than $800,000, and there may be more still to come. And this is a huge development in the race, and there's all kinds of things that I could talk about with it. Why exactly has AIPAC decided that Malinowski is so unacceptable? What does this mean for the state of the race? Does this mean that suddenly what had previously been a sort of locally watched affair will become a nationally watched one with all of the fraught repercussions that come with that? But what I really want to focus on today is the content of the ad itself, because it does not have anything to do with Israel. It instead focuses on a 2019 vote that Malinowski took that gave some supplemental funding to ICE. And it then connects that to the current Trump administration's crackdown on immigration and its mass deportation agenda. And you can debate the merits of whether this attack is reasonable. It was definitely a controversial vote at the time. A lot of progressive Democrats were opposed to that bill, but a fair number of progressive Democrats were also supportive of it. So it was definitely something that caused a lot of discussion then and can continue to cause discussion now. But I do think it's a fairly strange message to be coming from AIPAC, because this is not a group that has ever professed to care about this issue, and that has in fact made hundreds of endorsements that indicate that it specifically does not care about this issue at all. Malinowski said this to me on Saturday, and I can't really get it out of my head. He says, AIPAC supports plenty of Republican candidates across the country who are pro-mass deportations. It's not like this is their issue. And he's right. AIPAC does not have immigration or deportations or ICE funding as anything close to a litmus test for its endorsements. It endorses tons of Republicans who voted for this very bill and tons of others who would go much further than this bill goes in their support for the Trump agenda on immigration. And the only thing that UDP has said about this ad is just a very simple statement. There are several candidates in this race, the 11th district race, that are far more supportive of the U.S.-Israel relationship than Tom Malinowski. Sure, that's not the message that is coming across in this ad at all. That's something that I'm going to put in my stories when I report on this. But the voters of the 11th district, when they turn on their TVs, all they're going to see is this ad about this 2019 immigration vote. And, you know, attacks are inevitably a part of politics, for better or for worse. I think that politicians get a little bit sick of the negativity of politics, but it comes with the territory when you're a politician. And I think that when it's coming from an opposing candidate in the race, there is a certain amount of accountability that inherently comes with that attack. For example, Malinowski is the subject of a separate attack ad right now from one of his opponents, Brendan Gill, that hits him on some stock trading issues that he had during his first stint in Congress. That, again, debate the merits all you want, but that is something where it's inherently a fair game attack, and it's something where you can then go to Brendan Gill and ask him about it. And you can contrast his chances with Malinowski's, and you can make it into something where you actually understand the dynamics at play. But when it's an outside group coming in, and it's an outside group that is not being entirely truthful to voters about what it actually cares about in the race, then that's a different scenario. And I'll close by tying this to Jersey Freedom, which is the group that sort of infamously in 2023 spent a bunch of money boosting complete no-name phantom conservative candidates for state legislature in South Jersey. It was pretty obvious at the time that this was at least somehow tied to South Jersey Democrats, but they had the plausible deniability where it was this separate group, Jersey Freedom. They had nothing to do with it, ho, ho, ho. And it meant that there wasn't any accountability on the messaging. It meant that you couldn't ask South Jersey Democrats, why are you supporting this random conservative independent for state Senate? That was a question that they wouldn't have really been able to answer. But if it's put through this independent group instead, then they can just shove it over there. And I think that that is not too dissimilar from what's happening here. This is something that if you actually put all the pieces together, it doesn't make a huge amount of sense that AIPAC is coming in and attacking Tom Malinowski over immigration. It only makes sense from a political perspective in that they see this message as more effective than anything they might run on Israel. So if you see this ad and you decide that Malinowski's 2019 vote is in fact a deal breaker for you, that you won't support a candidate who has ever voted to fund ICE, you are well within your rights to do so. But I do hope that the voters of the 11th district who see this ad will, after seeing it, do a little bit of Googling and find out more of the story about what's really going on in it. So that's what I've got for today. Thanks for watching.